In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I'm going from this wing to this wing. So the first thing that we're going to do is obviously pop the trunk, because that's how we're going to access our holes. Okay, so now with the trunk open, you'll see there's actually 3 bolts on either side of the spoiler. This one looks like they're bolts. I believe on the OEM one, it's actually nuts, because there's studs coming out of the spoiler itself. So we're gonna go ahead and remove those on both sides. Okay, so after you've pulled the screws off, basically the spoiler is free to come off. As you can see here on my car, because it had the Seibon NSX-R style wing, looks like the previous owner basically cut the wiring off and then just twisted these two together and electrical taped the connections. Not the greatest thing. On the OEM style one, it does have a plug that you can, I believe on a lot of the aftermarket, like Seibon ones, like the one that's perched on the S2000 right now, they just come with wiring, so you do actually have to either adapt the old plug off the original wing onto here, which would have been a cleaner install, or do it as ghetto as this. So maybe don't do it this way. At least like solder or, properly connect these and put it together. But yeah, now we're gonna throw on the replacement. And basically reinstalling bolts or nuts, whichever case you have, we're with this product. Now, keen people will notice, hey, wait, you just went from one black spoiler to another black spoiler. But this actually is a OEM wing. Now, the previous wing, like I mentioned before, was a Seibon NSX-R carbon wing, which no doubt looks pretty good on the car. It's a very common route that people go. Had a couple gripes with it. One, not being an authentic part, which kind of irked me a little bit. I tried to build my cars in a way where at least we're giving authenticity, kind of that focus. And also, 2, this is an NA1 car, and the early NA1 Type R never came with that spoiler. It had the same profile as this one. I can't remember if it was lighter or not, because the stock one is actually fairly heavy. But yeah, so that's kind of one of the main reasons I didn't like it. I also just like how this one is very in line with the original design and shape of the car. Like from the rear quarters, it just maintains that nice clean profile. So I really wanted an OEM one. Now, finding an OEM one was a bit challenging. Anything that I found within either Canada or the US was pretty overpriced for what I thought was a factory wing. But then again, I think the OEM taillights, like the third brake light, goes for like $1,200 or something crazy like that. So they are worth a decent amount of money. I ended up finding someone on NSX Prime who was in Canada who happened to have a Grand Prix white one, which I was like, sweet, I don't have to repaint it or anything. Got the wing. Unfortunately, it was in a lot rougher shape than I thought. And the third brake light was damaged too, so it was a pretty big bummer. So I'll probably list that wing up for sale just as like one that needs obviously some repair work and then repaint on it. But managed to find this one on Kruber, which is the online store for UpGarage, which is a very big used Japanese parts reseller in Japan. And got it shipped over here and purchased through the Streeter Corporation. So shout out to Jesse Streeter for helping me out with this. He was actually really good with communication, very seamless in the process, and quick and easy. So I would highly recommend him if you're looking for anything on Kruber or Yahoo Auctions Japan, just to be able to find someone that can help you with the shipping aspect, because sometimes that gets a little bit complicated, shipping things from Japan to North America at a price-effective option. But let me go a little bit closer and show you some differences that I spotted with the USDM wing versus the JDM wing, which I thought was quite interesting. Now, I feel like it's going to be really hard to tell on camera because this difference is quite subtle, but the third brake light is actually a different shade compared to the rest of the taillight section. And for those of you that know, the JDM taillights on the NA1 Acura NSX are actually a darker tinted red. So the third brake light is actually tinted the same way to match that set. Luckily, I happen to have in, I guess, parts in storage right now, a set of JDM taillights that I will be putting on the car as kind of a exterior update that I wanted to do. So kind of cool that we managed to score a JDM wing with a matching tint to match the new JDM taillights that are gonna be going on the car. That was one thing that I didn't really realize going into this. So that's kind of neat that we'll have that. But obviously, big thing, this guy is black, so we will have to repaint it to match the rest of the car. But otherwise, I just love the profile of this wing. As you can see just on the side, it looks way more integrated just along following the body lines of the original car. So I'm really stoked at how this looks. But yeah, so just a quick little swap on the NSX, just kind of, I guess, bringing it closer in terms of what I ideally wanted. But yeah, like I alluded, we do have JDM tails that are gonna be going on the car. And I've mentioned this in previous videos before, but there is a lot of work that needs to happen to the NSX, so I don't know if I'm gonna be doing the JDM tails, etc., before the mechanical stuff that I have planned for the car. So stay tuned. If not, and we're busy, we'll be working on the S2000. But yeah, thanks for watching this little quick and just a little simple swap. Obviously, if you do want to change the spoiler on your NA1 or even NA2 NSX, I believe the only difference with the NA2 is they have a little rear sub spoiler as well too. But if you do want to change it, it is very simple. OEM, you do have a harness that you have to unplug, and then just 3 nuts on either side. On my aftermarket Seibon one, it was 3 bolts instead, and you have to kind of fiddle with the harnessing because that's a little bit of an aftermarket piece. But yeah, thanks for watching, and catch you in the next NSX video, or S2000.